Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a little bit of an update on some of the AI things that has been happening over the past couple of weeks, things that I've seen on my Twitter feed or on the news regarding AI, and so that's sort of what I'm going to be talking about today. I will be making another video for next week that will be a little bit more updates on myself and sort of what's happening in my life, but this week we're focusing on the news for AI. So let's get started. So one of the first big news that dropped a few days ago, I think May 4th, so that's 2 days ago, is that Microsoft has dropped a lot of updates for Bing Chat, and most notably, everyone can access it now. It's no longer a waitlist program. As long as you have a Microsoft account and you're willing to use Microsoft Edge, as I am right now using, you can use Bing Chat. And honestly, after using it a while, I think it's pretty cool. It's nice to be able to conversationally get answers. And you can sort of iterate upon your answers. So if you don't know exactly what to search, you can ask it as if you're asking another friend. And other updates that Microsoft added are things like plugins, and they're moving to multimodal type chat. So instead of just text only, they're going to be adding a lot more images and videos to the answers. And of course, making it have multiple chat sessions, because that's one of the issues I've had a lot, is just you lose your sessions after you refresh the page or go away. So you might be searching for something and then all of a sudden you don't have the answer again if you want to come back later. And of course plugins, which we'll talk about. So let me play their video of all the new features. So yeah, that's basically a quick summary of everything, and I'm just gonna quickly go through exactly what they're showing on this video. So first of all, as I said before, it is in open preview, so as long as you have a Microsoft account, you can use it. So if you have been waiting for this or haven't tried it out yet, I would recommend you to try it out, because it's an interesting way to search. Another thing is to make search more visual. So they're adding things like charts and graphs and pictures instead of just text. And that's one of the things that I do like to see in the search, because part of the reason why a lot of times I do Google search is I might want to see the image of the thing that I'm searching for, or graphs and charts of data that I might be searching for. It'll be a lot easier if I ask, like, give me the last 5 years of smartphone sales, right? Who has the most smartphone sales? If it can display a graph directly, that'd be pretty cool. And I think, I don't know exactly how much ability Bing Chat will do in this regard, because some of these updates have not been rolled out yet, or they're rolling out to specific people, and I was trying out some of these features and I haven't gotten it to work really well. But yeah, it would be cool if we can automatically generate statistics and charts and things like that of search queries that we're interested in, and it will just give us like a graph of the most recent data. And of course, Bing Image Creator, now it is available in all language, more than 100 languages. so you can create images in your native language, which is pretty cool. It's no longer English only. And they also are adding things to Microsoft Edge itself using the Bing chat. So you can probably see there are a few things. One is chat history. So your chat will move to your Edge sidebar so that if you want to go back to the chat, you can just select it back. So that's one of the things I like, especially like OpenAI, ChatGPT. You can see your history and go back and see the answers or continue talking to the chatbot about a certain thing. So let's say you're searching something for the trip, for your trip to, let's say they're going to Bali. You could start planning, and then let's say you're done for the day, you go out, and maybe tomorrow you can come back to the same chat and continue planning. So I think that's a really good change. Other things like export and share, which is honestly long overdue because it was very, very annoying to copy and paste, especially exporting. I was trying on one of my first videos when I was talking about Bing Chat. In order to export it, I had to physically export the HTML, but that didn't actually work because the way they structured Bing Chat, they have a lot of hidden DOMs. So they're using basically ghost DOMs, and you can't really download the website. It'll just download a blank page. So instead, I had to do a PDF export. So basically, I print the page, and in order to print the page, you had to shrink the text size down really, really small. It was just a whole lot of things to jump through in order to export your chat. So I'm very glad they're adding that. Also, improve summarization capabilities for long documents, including PDFs. That's gonna be pretty cool because a lot of people want to use AI to be able to search through documents and not read the documents. Or like, let's say you got a manual for some device, and this device is broken in this in a specific manner, and you don't know how to look through the manual to see what buttons to press and things like that. I can see that being very useful. And also page context, so you can ask questions in Bing Chat related to the mobile page you're viewing. And I think they're also going to allow you to do that in the PC as well, so you can ask Bing Bing Chat in relation to the page you're viewing to do things. And compose video. I'm not too sure what this is actually. Let me see. It's probably writing a letter actually. Yeah. It is writing a letter, and if you give it a template, it'll just write it out, and that's actually kind of cool. I can see a lot of people using that to write letters and communicate, or even write essays, hopefully not to get through school, but to be more efficient in communication and writing something better. Yes, this one is now third-party plugins, and this is something that ChatGPT has had for I think more than a month. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten the access to it, so I couldn't make a video on this, and it's not currently available right now. But as soon as this is available, I will definitely make a video. If either getting access to Bing Chat plugins or ChatGPT plugins, I'm very interested in this, especially because my search, my video about making a search engine is kind of like this, right? Like we talked about how to structure things for to be able to connect between ChatGPT and an API, and this is sort of kind of what I want to do, is basically allowing ChatGPT to use APIs. So I'm interested in knowing how plugins work, using it, and seeing if I can implement it myself. And yeah, continuing to build in the open. That's cool. Okay, and moving on to the next topic. It is an AI tool that extracts everything from videos. So let's take a look.
It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing. Look at this. That is really nice.
So that's pretty cool. So there's a couple things to talk about there. First of all, it is able to search through videos on one of the basic things is text. Like you can find text through video, and that's pretty cool because it's kind of like OCR or however they're indexing it. It can pick up text in video. But I think the more impressive thing is that it understands the video. So for example, like the making a feather fly from Harry Potter, it was able to understand that the feather, there is a feather on screen and it's flying and there's magic involved. And I'm interested in knowing how it determined all of that and trying this out as well. But I think one of the more impressive ones is like video of people growing old together, and it found the up clip, and that's pretty cool. It was able to understand those two individuals are the same people and they grew old together. And so I think this is a pretty cool tool, and I'm interested in, obviously this one is closed sourced and you have to pay for it, and it's 12 labs. It's I don't know if they have any relations to 11 labs, but it's pretty cool to see models going in this direction, being able to do search not just through text but through things like video, and it's able to understand video. So I don't know if this technology is just some insane way of indexing things, or if we'll be able to search through videos. And I think that'd be a pretty cool technology, because you'd be able to watch have YouTube videos or things like that, and just ask questions about the topic, and it will pull up the clip where the person talks about it. And Google kind of has that right now. If you say, hey, you know, assemble something, if you're talking about like assembling a fridge or a certain part of component of the fridge, it would be able to find videos talking about the fridge and segment that section out. But I think this might be able to do more impressive things, like understanding the real context behind the video. And so yeah, I'm interested in knowing how this is, and might try this out in the next couple of days. All right, the next thing that I saw that was pretty cool on my feed is about using LLM evaluation and using the ELO system. So the ELO system is used in a lot of games, most popularly in chess, and basically it's a way to calculate how strong a player is in relation to each other. And it's a pretty good system, because it sort of iterates. So if you basically in chess, if you win a game against someone who's stronger than you, you will win a lot more ELO points, you will gain a lot more points. And if you win a game against someone who's weaker than you, you will gain less points. and it depends on how much weaker and how much stronger the person is. And for example, I've played games with people who are 3 times my elo, or a lot stronger than me, and when they win, I don't lose any points, and they probably don't gain any points because you're expected to win at that point, right? So elo is basically a way to rank players against each other. So if they play against each other, you can then adjust their scores based on the outcome. And they're just doing something similar to LLMs. And you can see these are some of the LLMs that they tested, like the Stable LM, Llama, Dolly, Fast Chat, Alpaca. You know, all of these models that we've talked about, or some that we haven't talked about. And they were able to do this on this chatbot arena, and you can go there right now. It's chat.lmsys.org, and you can play around with this chatbot arena. You basically let me see if it would work. So let's just say, hello, how are you? And I'm doing well, thank you for asking. How can I help you today? And this guy didn't do anything, so B is better, of course. So yeah, basically you're able to hold a conversation, and you can see Llama 13 billion did nothing, Claude v1 did something, and obviously Claude is better than Llama. And they're basically open sourcing, well, not open sourcing, but allowing everybody to participate in this trial, and feel free to do this yourself. And then you could sort of get a sense, sort of anecdotally, which chatbots work better, but also this data is compiled in the leaderboard. So you can see that they are comparing the elos, and you can see that Vicuna is the best, and Stable LM is probably the worst out of all of these ones. So it's pretty cool to see that someone is sort of judging relative strength between these LLMs, and I'm interested in knowing the results after more people use it. And I believe they did not have like ChatGPT and Claude, which they just mentioned that they've just added it. So I'm interested to see how those two stack up to these open source and some of these other models. Speaking of open source models, there's one that was released by Hugging Face and ServiceNow. It's a free code generating model. It is similar to GitHub Copilot and things like Amazon Code Whisperer, which is also free. And basically it's able to be used by anyone, including corporations, and it's trained on over 80 programming languages from GitHub repositories, and it integrates with the VS Code editor, and it can follow basic instructions and answer questions about code. So this is something that I've yet to try out, but I'm interested in always trying out and seeing who can do better. Is it Copilot or the Amazon one or this one? So I'm interested in trying these out. And why I like the fact that it's open source is you can sort of run it yourself, and that way you're not reliant on another service. And B is, if you see all of these open source models like Facebook's Llama or Stable Diffusion, a lot of people are working on sort of ports and making them run faster. And like, for example, the Facebook Llama or Alpaca was quantized really quickly and can run on pretty much a lot of consumer laptops. So I'm very curious to see if that will happen to things like this model, and being able to run that offline on your own computer. That would be really, really cool. And of course, Stability AI, the people behind Stable Diffusion, also launched their own suite of language models, which in the in the elo ranking they were doing the worst. But hey, you know, it's a open source model, and people will probably be able to fine tune it and make it better. Like just like how llama wasn't the best, but alpaca was able to be so much better because someone trained it on instruction models. So it'd be interesting to see, because this is, I believe, completely open source, and yeah, freely inspect, use, and adapt, subject to Creative Commons. And so it'd be pretty cool to see what people do with this, and if people also do make it quantized and able to run on consumer hardware, and in combination with the elo score. I'm interested to know which models are the best, or what trade-offs there are between them, like how much worse the other ones are versus how well it runs on my computer. And hopefully soon we will have a few pretty decent LLMs that can run offline on your computer, and that would be very interesting to develop applications and things that use this power, because it'd be really cool to be able to do this offline and to basically assist in system tasks. Just like you can have probably a co-pilot for your computer if you're like, hey, open. It's kind of like a more supercharged Cortana or Siri. It's able to understand context and maybe even find files for you. All right, the next topic is something actually on the government, which is they're now interested in AI. And from the president, from President Biden himself, he tweeted, artificial intelligence is one of the most powerful tools of our time, but to seize its opportunities, we must first mitigate its risks. Today, I dropped by a meeting with AI leaders to touch on the importance of innovating responsibly and protecting people's rights and safety. And that's pretty cool. They basically got a lot of the important people in the AI space, including CEO of OpenAI and CEO of Microsoft and CEO of Google, all of these big companies, and got them in the same room. And basically, they are pledging an independent commitment to participate in a public evaluation of their AI systems on an evaluation platform developed by Scale AI. So it's pretty cool that these companies, these big ones that are ahead, are willing to come in. I think it also looks good that they're willing to come in and participate in sort of a government program to make sure that AI is developed responsibly and correctly throughout time. And here's a quick fact sheet that the White House released. And basically the main announcements are new investments to power responsible American AI research and development. So they're giving $140 million in funding to launch 7 new national AI research institutes. So that's pretty cool that nationally now the US is investing in AI research and development. And basically we'll see if it's able to produce anything cool. And if anything, hopefully it produces some safety guidelines and guide rails to make sure that these companies are developing fast, but also developing safely. Public assessments of existing generative AI systems. So basically all of these companies, Anthropic, Google, Hugging Face, Microsoft, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and Stability AI, are willing to participate in a public evaluation of AI systems. So basically, they will be evaluated publicly and it will be disclosed publicly. So that's pretty cool. And finally, policies to ensure the US government is leading by example on mitigating AI risks and harnessing AI opportunities. So basically, they're going to be working on laws and guidance and things like that, and policies to make sure that we're doing the right thing, as the government is doing the right thing and making sure that people are doing responsible development. So that's pretty cool that the federal government is interested and not only interested in sort of regulating and making sure things are safe, which is something that I talked about earlier in the Pause AI video. Basically, government needs to step in and set some ground rules, and I think a lot of these companies are happy with it, and I'm happy to see that companies are on board with this, and also the government is setting aside funding to do more research. So that's very, very good. All right, and basically, this is a pretty funny thing. Is basically at the White House meeting, there's OpenAI, people who left OpenAI because it wasn't focused enough on the existential risk, people who bought exclusive rights to everything OpenAI makes, and then there's Google. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. That is a pretty good summary of people who went to the White House meeting. But yeah, so that is the White House meeting. All right, moving on to the next thing. It's Midjourney, and Midjourney has been a very, very good image generation platform, and they've just launched 5.1, and 5.1 is looking like it's improved a lot. And also, if you aren't in the trial or haven't used the trial, it's going to be it's refreshed, and you can now use trials again for the weekend. And I am making this video slightly halfway through the weekend, so hopefully by the time you watch this, you still have a little bit of time to try Midjourney out yourself. And they do run through a Discord, so you do have to go to their Discord, but you can try out Midjourney right now, and it is their V5 version. They did confirm that V5.1 is available in the trial. And here's some images basically of Midjourney V5.1, and you can see it's able to create pretty realistic images, as Midjourney was able to do. And yeah, it's pretty cool, and go ahead and try it out because it's free right now. And finally, the last thing, I'm going to talk a little bit about OpenAI because they've been doing some cool things. So OpenAI released a new ChatGPT code interpreter. So basically what code interpreter does is it just takes in a lot of data and is able to pump out a lot of cool charts and useful charts. So like this, you can take in a lot of data and it'll just create bar charts and graphs and things like that. So that's why I think the Bing Chat AI is going to be able to do something similar. And this is pretty cool that it's able to do that. For example, here's some examples. CSV of every lighthouse in the US, and it creates a map of all of these lighthouses, and the lighthouse twinkles, and it's able to do that. And also UFO sightings in North America, it's able to graph that out. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting ways that ChatGPT is able to work with data. So I'm interested in trying this out. Again, I don't have access to any of these features, probably because I don't pay the $20 for ChatGPT Plus. But yeah, this is pretty cool. And the final thing is a little news on OpenAI. And last year, apparently OpenAI losses doubled to $540 million as revenue quadrupled. So even though their revenue is quadrupling, their losses are doubling, which is not bad in a way, because you quadrupled revenue and you only doubled loss. I don't really know how to read this, but and also the CEO says that he wants to raise possibly 100 billion, which would be really crazy. But yeah, basically you can see OpenAI is still basically running at a loss, which makes sense because not only are they training new models, they're also running these models for the public to use. Like ChatGPT is free, even though there is a paid version. The majority of people are using the free version. I don't know if they're making money on the API right now, or if they're just taking a loss on every call that I make through the API, because the API honestly is kind of cheap. Don't raise the price, OpenAI, but I'm just saying it's slightly cheap. And also, it's kind of crazy that they're looking at $100 billion of funding, because in order to get funding, it's like an investment. And if people are going to invest 100 billion, that means they're going to be making, well, they're going to be worth more than 100 billion. So that's pretty interesting, because I don't know how much OpenAI is worth, especially currently they are still losing money. But in things like Silicon Valley, if you have a good idea, you already got like $1 billion company. If your company is losing money but has a lot of users, you're probably worth 10 billion. If your company is no longer losing money, is breaking even, you're probably worth 100 billion. And if your company is making money, you're a $1 trillion company. So that's kind of how Silicon Valley works. So it's very interesting stats on OpenAI. And of course, they are a private company, so they don't have to publish all of these stats like a public company has to, but it's just interesting look into the finances of OpenAI. So yeah, that's basically a quick update on everything that I've seen over the past couple of weeks. And I hope you sort of got to see some new things, like go try out Midjourney, go try out Bing Chat, and try out the chatbot arena, and let me know if there's anything that you would like me to discuss in upcoming videos, because I do have some videos lined up, more edited and sort of less talking head videos. But if there's any topic that you would like me to discuss, let me know, because honestly, I am slightly running out of topics to talk about. But obviously there are always going to be new things and new AI trials or new technology that I would be able to talk about. Notably, I think one of the things I'll be talking about is WWDC from Apple. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if there's anything specific, any topic, honestly about anything. I might be able to provide some of my thoughts on it. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to press the like button, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you get notified of my future videos. And thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.